Yes, legends, how's everybody doing? Let's analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin all together. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can see me, we're going to go through the comment section right away, guys. Make sure to smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content. If you don't, no need to smash up the like button. Let's say hello to the beautiful community. How's everybody doing? Let's go, legends. We are live. Let's go through the comment section right away. Comb my hair. Say hello to everybody. And let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not looking too great, guys. It's not looking too powerful, the pumps that we are getting. What can we say? What can we say, guys? We are looking for the price to potentially come down to sub 99K at some point. Does the bulls have a chance? Some setups locally for intraday setups. We mentioned one yesterday. We talked about the double bottom. You should be out of the position. There was an interesting short trade to be taken here. Devil did provide this in the Legends Pro community. It was a rejection of the previous day valley area high, valid for a short entry zone. Okay, forming lower highs, lower lows. Could it be another lower high and we form another lower low? A double 1-2 setup here is a possibility. Shout out to Devil in the Legends Pro community, providing that potential setup right over here. Rejection here at the 103.6.7K zone, right on at the previous day value area high for that multiple 1-2 setup. The bounce is not looking too exciting. Yesterday we talked here on YouTube the swing failure pattern from the low or the double bottom. We had a bit of an aggressive move down. The daily level did hold pretty nicely. We reclaimed it. We got a significant bounce of a couple of $1,000s in the last 24 hours since that live stream. This was the area that we wanted to hold for the price to get a larger bounce. Okay, a relief rally, a bounce, a local double bottom was an option, as mentioned on yesterday's stream. If we reclaim the recent lows that we had at $101,500 range, there is a chance that we could get that relief rally. It's an aggressive move. We haven't got much here. We had actually a naked point of control that was tapped from this range, from this V-shaped recovery. But you didn't want to break down successfully this zone, right? If we are going to get a bounce, we would rather get that bounce here at the low 100K levels. And it finally held nicely as support. We're talking about the daily level here on the price of Bitcoin. And the level is this one right over here, right? We tapped beneath the daily, got back above it. We had an interesting wick here. This is what the price likes to do. Get everybody out and then get the pump. Nice intraday setup. We did not want to cross successfully this red box zone, right? We do not want to lose these higher lows right over here. Let me turn the music down a little bit because it might be too high. Right, let's turn that down. So yeah, nice little intraday scalp bounce. Okay, we're going to talk about some new trading setups today. That's what we like to do. Okay, the general idea still on the higher time frame is that the downtrend is leading the way. Okay, we can attempt long positions for a higher low, which is what we talked yesterday. Any longs taken beneath the daily level are going to be risky. If you reclaim the daily level again, we can potentially jump into that long position, taking our stop loss beneath the wick low, right? So my idea here is always for you to get the, the content out, look for the setups, guys. Okay, we do the technical analysis and we look for the trading setup. So we did form that low. We were looking for potentially a double bottom to get that relief rally. That gives you your entry pivot, okay? And your stop loss beneath the low. Got a nice relief rally, couple of $1,000. You should take most of the profits, right? It's an intraday setup. The overall directional bias is to the downside with the contracting diagonal idea still, okay? To claim 99K. Shorts look a little bit more in your advantage, more as a small swing trade setup. Shorting the bouncers, trying to short these internal bouncers are a very good option. We don't want to short down as we're moving to the downside. We want to try and short the bouncers, right? We don't want to ape in on a short as the price is moving down. We do not want to long as the price is moving up, right? The other day, we mentioned the short trigger, which was from this high right over here. Short trigger on the live stream, double top internally. We're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C wave potential here to roll back down. And yesterday, eventually, as we were trading at these lows, we rather want to look for longs, maintain some of the short open if you did a few days ago. And we're looking to hedge that short with some potential good entries, levels that need to be respected. If you get that double bottom, you wick beneath the low, the daily, below the daily, and you get back above, it gives you an entry down here, right? You get the point. So we did get that bounce. The bounce is retracing right now, and Deviled giving that update on a potential short, right? We want to ride the waves. We want to short, we want to long, we want to short, right? So this long becomes, a short, long in a higher low here, I have to say, becomes a little bit risky. Long in a higher low here. And we'll be explaining that throughout today's video update. Could we bounce from here? Absolutely. Why not? But there's no major, big reasons, when we take a look at Elliott wave theory. Yeah, sure, we do have the previous day point of control. It's potentially getting a reaction right now as we speak. Yesterday's point of control, not quite reached, okay? So yeah, not really any longing setup here for me at the moment. So yeah, we're going to be discussing the waves, the analysis, the priority that we have on the higher time frame, and looking for intraday setups as well. Okay, that's what we like to do. The other day we mentioned a short. Yesterday we mentioned the local double bottom, reclaim the daily level for a nice little scalp long. Today, Deviled in the pro community. Anybody that's interested in joining the pro community, daily updates, possible scenarios, entry points where are looking interesting, you have the links down below, okay, to join the pro community right over here on the website. You can join right away on the Telegram. So first of all, quick hello to the beautiful community. Let's go. Beth Maria Vallejos, I can see you already. How are you doing? Much love to you. Carla Vieria, let's go. BTC up, down, make a move. Hello, 6:30 a.m. here in Oregon, my man. Much love. Smash the like button, UE. Baby Genius, much love to you, my man. Thanks for joining. I can see you here once in a while. Do join many live stream. Water, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, X-Tech, how are you doing? Bing Cooper, Staffer One, much love. C Marpy, how are you doing, my man? Market is on easy mode, just short anywhere and it's good. Very true, very true. We are downtrending mainly, so shorting the bouncers at specific levels of resistance is easier. Of course, yesterday we had to talk about a long because we were already downtrending. But yeah, the other day, basically catching the ultimate high was at 107K, right? Was a very good entry, very technical, lot of confluence, analyzing the waves and basically the behavior of the momentum to the upside. Wasn't looking too great. We were looking for that pullback, potential end of the wave up, which literally was the highs at 107.5K. So what is next, right? It's not looking too great. I have to say, it's not looking the greatest for the market to move higher. Of course, shorts look very interesting, right? Whoever's in shorts and there's basically betting on the price going to the downside, I think, you know, you have priority, right? Based on the structure. Quickly go through the comment section, then we dive in on the higher time frame, explaining the scenarios, explaining the waves, explaining the confluence, the trading opportunities that are in front of us for the next coming days, and also potentially the next coming hours, because we always like to give those setups, right? Get a plan ready, right? Trading is all about getting a plan. I don't care what the price is doing when it's in a zone of no interest, right? There's no longs for me here to be taken in the middle right there. The movement to the upside looks incredibly corrective. That's not a good sign. Okay, it does look very corrective. So longs for me anyway in this area become very, very risky. Okay, so we'll be diving in and going into detail on, you know, where are the highest probability setups lying, right? That's what we like to do. And then obviously in the next stream, you know, talk about them. We like to talk about them. We like to talk about this one. We like to talk about this one here from yesterday. We like to talk about tomorrow, the one that we're potentially talking about today, right? So anyway, quick go through the comment section. Make sure to get your cup of coffee, cup of tea, Coca-Cola, beer, or whatever, guys. We are starting now in the next coming minutes after I go through the comment section. Just a quick hello out of respect. Smash up the like, guys, if you do enjoy the content, if you like the education, if it, you know, just to get some ideas with your trading analysis, right? We like to do Elliott wave and confluence areas and where the price could reject or could bounce, right? For a possible setup. No financial advice as always. More like to Andy, guys, don't be stingy. Yeah, I do. Well, we try and do our best. We try and do our best. I'm still swing short from 124k and scalping every bounce. Works so good. CMRP in the zone right over there. Okay, absolute legend. Hit the like button, says Sug9082. We are currently hovering just above the bull market uptrend. Yeah, also true. What's up, Andy, my man? Much love. Anup, rolling dice for patience to pay off 98 to 95k. Let's go. I mean, I think there's going to be 88k, somebody says here. I think that the price would get an epic bounce in between 190k. You know, that is really the zone of be cautious, because it could be pretty ferocious. Right, we don't know how aggressive the wick can be or the candle. We want to see a bit of proof of support. It's unlikely that the price is going to come down here and then do this, right? And then, you know, in 2 days we're trading at $116,000. It's going to take a bit of time, in my opinion, to see some floor formation, reclaim of resistance. We can do this patiently. We can do this slowly and patiently, right, to look for the trading setups. So that will be explained in the next coming minutes, okay? Let's go, yeah, quick hello to the rest of the people that are joining, okay? Take profits done. My short, do you think 100,300? Take profits done. Well done to you. Yeah, I mean, definitely if I'm in a, you know, if you were in a short position, okay, based on the analysis a couple of days ago, right, where we mentioned $107,000 to be the local high and then reverse. Obviously, you know, taking some profits, the price has moved down $5,000-6,000 from those highs created a few days ago. You know, it's the kind of trade that you want to leave some open, right, to 99k minus 99k, where that's where you're collecting the rest of most of the profits. Definitely it's one of those trades that is has the potential to be the lower high of this downtrend. All right, when we do take a look at the momentum, right, it does have the potential to be the lower high, and we create a new low in the next couple of days. So if you are short from here, based on the analysis that we mentioned the other day, it's reasonable to hold, you know, part of the position, just because of the directional bias that we have, the directional trend that we've had in the last few weeks, which is to the downside, right? And this does have the potential to be the lower high. So yeah, anyway, just reading through the comment section and giving you a little bit of the answers. Legend Andy, please take BTC up. I'm a little bit skeptical. 97k says BH. Very, very true. Rally incoming, maybe yes. Dale Andy, Victor, much love to you. Okay, thanks for smashing the like button, guys. Enjoy the content. We're going to cover the daily, the 4-hourly time frame, a bit of higher time frame scenarios. Let's start right away. We are giving priority to the contracting diagonal. The bouncers for the moment are looking more corrective than motive. We do not see any clear impulsive move, high volume on the bouncers, which are not giving us any confidence, right, for the price to basically rally up to $116,000, which is a target zone that I do expect to be hit in the next coming weeks. However, I would prefer, based on the analysis and the trend, based on the information that we have on the chart and the local, the downtrend that we've had throughout the last few weeks, is claiming below $99,000. Then whatever happens here, we're going to have to patiently wait and see if we see proof of support and basically reclaim those levels. The bouncers do not look great, guys. I'm sorry to say, but I could be completely wrong, but it's just the look on the chart. This bounce right over here has lower probability to be some kind of a motive wave. And in this case, we are speculating on a double 1-2 would have the highest priority if it is going to end up being bullish. However, your second, if we are speculating on this wave 1, higher low wave 2, then this another wave 1 and this another wave 2. Your second wave 1 and 2 is longer than the first one, which is uncommon, right? When we do chart analysis, we talk about what happens most commonly and what happens less commonly. Okay, multiple 1-2s getting your second 1-2 larger than the first one is uncommon. Usually, most commonly, your second 1-2 is smaller in time and price action before you get the third wave. So we are not giving much priority to this for the moment. Now, of course, the market likes to trick us. We are getting a lot of expectation that we get below 99K. So can this be a similar trick like the one that we had right over here once we did hit all-time high? Many people were bullish here, calling for 128K, 130K plus. We ended up absolutely collapsing here, right? So, the thing is about getting these entries to speculate, right? Because it's all about decision and leaving some of the trade open. Who has a trade open still? I can see someone from 124K here, C Marpy I think it is, still in a short position from 124K. It's all about being patient, all about knowing the possibility, even though probabilities are low, that it could happen. The possibility of forming a double 1-2 here, even though it doesn't look great, it is possible. Preferably, you're looking for a higher low from the last pivot higher low, which is at 99.2K. So, where you want to form a higher low is in between, right, this pivot low and these lows right over here, which we mentioned yesterday. If the price is going to form a higher low, we want it to be in this zone, and reclaiming the lows right over here is your option to get into the long trade. Getting into a long, I mean, we are getting a little bit of a bounce at the moment, so we got a nice bounce. Okay, but the longing zone for me, like if the most technical one is in this area, your stop loss is very small. All right, and you're going to give it a chance. You always want to leave some open. Anybody that catch that long position, right, that was explained on yesterday's video update. It's, the fact that we do not like longs and we are downtrending on the higher time frame. The fact that I don't like any longs here in this zone based on the higher time frame analysis, which we are downtrending. The bounce counts better as a corrective structure, doesn't mean that we cannot attempt a long position when we talk about a trading setup. You could have longed here. I'm happy to hold a long position here, even though I think that there is priority to come down below 99K. But the entry is there, and if the low probability scenario has to play out, which is a double 1-2, I will still have part of that long position here just in case the price decides to recover in the next coming days. We would be surprised. We'll be like, wow, well, that happened. Well, it's all about trade management here. It's all about understanding where the entry is. Are you happy to maintain some of that entry open on that double bottom and be defensive? I am leaning on the price actually going to lower prices. But, you know, if the market's going to give me an entry and I understand that there is a slight possibility that we could form a double 1-2 in a higher low here, and I know my entry points, I will, you know, leave some of that position open and protected, because there's nothing worse of, you know, like saying that we're likely going to go to lower prices. The market doesn't look too great. This counts better as a corrective structure, ABC. And if it's not an ABC, it has to be a 1-2, okay, double 1-2. So in this case, you're looking for a short trade in this zone. You're looking for a long trade in this area. Then you let the price decide which one's going to win, right? Obviously taking some profits. And that's what we do as traders, right? So, you know, overall, we like the, you know, I'm giving still priority for the bearish case, guys. You know, I do like more the bearish case. We're going to talk about a short potential as well, okay? As we are downtrending, there is a rejection point. It's not exactly here where we are at the moment, but this is what we do. We like to talk about short triggers. We talk about a short trigger here. Next day it happens. We talk about one here. Next day we got the bounce. We held the daily level. We got a wick and got back above here. We want to do that today as well. Let's see if we can nail another one, right? And it's all about being patient, having a plan, and having good risk management. There's nothing more. If you follow the plan, worst case scenario is you're going to get stopped out. Best case scenario is that the trade is going to come to fruition. So what plans do we have? The bullish case scenario is multiple 1-2s. The bearish case scenario is contracting diagonal to the downside. And this potentially being the end for your wave 4, right? We're just going to speculate on that. That was it, guys. That was the end of the contracting diagonal, right? Wave 4 over here. Now, this is where we analyze very carefully how we reject it, because what I'm interested here when I'm looking for a day trade is how we reject it from this point to look for continuation to the downside, right? Because, you know, I remember my first couple of years of my trading journey, which was, you know, a big mess, right? I think the first 2 years of trading journey is usually very, very messed up. And elite wave theory does give you a little bit of that edge, okay, to realize what is the directional bias, right? You just need to be aware that the directional bias here for the last few weeks is to the downside. So you're cautious and you're very selective with the longs. Shorts can be a little bit more aggressive. So with this potential that we have, the wave 4 maybe being in, I need to really study very carefully this movement to the downside. Now, what is prioritizing here for the bulls ever so slightly is that we are getting bullish CVD divergence throughout the last 24 hours. We got higher lows on the price action and lower lows on the CVD throughout all of the exchanges. That's why we're getting this kind of relief pump. It looks like we want to tackle these highs here, right? Or, you know, at least these ones. So yeah, in a nutshell, we are going to be diving in here on the lower time frame, because I think we actually got into that resistance area, which could get rejected, guys. This was it, actually. I thought, you know, this was actually an acceptable SFP entry, from these lower highs. We did come up in a very, very straight line, but I want to explain why could the price reject from this zone at 103.3k area, which we are getting a little rejection. Price came very, very fast here to the upside as we were doing the higher time frame, but it all has to do understanding the small waves here to the downside. As you can see from this movement down, okay, we have this move, this move, this move, this move, and this move, right? When we do zoom in on that price action, and sorry about that, there's a bit of a sniper trade right there. Bit of a sniper, guys. A little bit late to enter now. I think we should start on the lower time frames, guys, the streams, okay? But overall, because yeah, when I get something potentially ready here, we missed the entry at the moment just because I went to the higher time frame. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's opportunities always, all the time. That, hopefully we do get up there and we break it, and then that's the end of that. But yeah, as you can see from today's bounce, there is a bit of a five waver here. We barely just almost overlapped this pivot right over here. Almost overlapped this pivot low. Almost missed it by a hair. So you can validly count a five wave move down. Just missed it by a hair here, guys. As if you don't overlap your wave 1, then you're still good for a wave 3, 4, and 5. So you missed it by a hair, giving this a very good chance that it could be a 5-wave impulsive move down. Because if not, you would have to have, an expanding diagonal, potentially would have worked as well, even though expanding diagonals are rare. Regardless, yeah, if you would have got the overlap, an expanding diagonal works because you have your 5th wave being longest than the 3rd wave, which is also valid. What usually happens when you have a 5-wave move to the downside, which is your rejection point, guys? When you have a 5-wave, we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A here. When you have a 5-wave move to the downside, which is usually your area to test and possibly reject from, right? Rejection's already being, almost $800. That's, pretty good enough for an entry. A little bit of a sniper trade, but yeah, literally you guys know, right? Your entry pivot is this one. This is your local intraday swing failure pattern, lower high. Because we educate and we, talk about this many times on the channel. We talk about Elliott wave theory eventually. And when you form a 5-wave structure, your corrective move likes to get to the 4th wave. And that's the moment where you're looking for a bounce. And on the lower time frames, it provides you a very, very good entry point. You're literally looking for a test of the lows of the 4th wave, and you're looking for a bounce, right? This is like super simple, easy to understand, right? Elliott wave theory. When we do take a look at this movement to the downside that we've had today, you can clearly see that there's been a 5-wave move to the downside, right? It's like picture perfect. Your 5th wave is longer than the 3rd, which is not usual, but it doesn't matter. You have it. It's a valid 5-wave move down. Your corrective move, even though this did shoot up pretty fast, getting to the 4th wave when you have a little consolidation, order block if you wish, gives you an entry trigger. This is your entry. Stop loss is here. It's aggressive. You need to catch it. This eventually has the potential to be the high and nuke down. It has the potential. I did get this ready at the beginning of the stream, guys. I'm so sorry. We were looking at the higher time frame. I should really just focus on lower time frame, guys, because that was the entry trigger here that I wanted to talk about on today's stream for a short Not very interested in longs. We don't have much support here on longs. We do have the risk of coming down to the lows. Longs should have been taken yesterday. Longing in this area is risky, very, very risky. So we are prioritizing the shorts. We can talk about the longs, but I'm not interested in longs here, but I'm interested in longs at lower levels, okay? But regardless, it doesn't matter. There's opportunities every day. I feel bad right now because I did get this ready, but we like to focus on the higher time frame for any new subscribers and talk about the patterns and what we are developing here. Never mind, guys. We'll talk about some other setups here, how the price needs to develop. But anyway, whoever got into that short, the price moved down $1,000. You can lock in some quick profits. This general idea is based on the one that Devilt talked today in the Legends Pro community. So shout out to Devilt. Devilt did talk about that potential entry point exactly at the previous day value area high rejection, okay, to speculate on a double 1-2 and maybe collapse down on a wave 3 later on between today and tomorrow potentially, right? So we have projections, we have entries, we have possibilities. Could they happen? Well, maybe yes, maybe no, but we got entry points and we got projections. We always want to take some profits on the way because obviously the market's volatile and it's, sometimes it can be unpredictable. But we as traders create the plans. When we take a look at the session volume profile, we failed to claim the previous day value area high and we rejected from it. So we got above it, lost the level, giving you a potential entry trigger in this zone to fail, right? To get above the previous day value area high level. All of this speculation of a multiple 1-2 to the downside, and it's all about entries. It's all about entries, taking some profit, stopped out at break even. Most importantly, in trading, we want to protect our capital. But just so we go forward with this projection, this idea, right? Because this is an idea that could come to fruition. Will it come to fruition or not? We do not know. But it's we got a projection. As we got the rejection here from the other day, let's just get this off the chart. From this level, right? We speculated on an A, B, C wave right over here to complete a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth wave rejection is where you want to enter, stop loss at the high. This is literally what we mentioned the other day. Now that we are downtrending, we study this movement to the downside, right? I'm going to do the general idea that I was looking at on the higher time frame here for this contracting diagonal. Now, what is in my best interest is looking at this movement down, right? Which when we zoom in on the 15-minute time frame is this movement to the downside. We have to talk about the bullish case as well, but let's go with the bearish momentum and make you realize where are the entries hidden. If you missed out this short ride over here from the other day, we did also get a very, very nice short trade here. We did not talk about it, guys, I have to say, but we talked about it on the stream yesterday, how this is your sweet spot to look for double, triple tops. When you have a building structure like this and you get the big wave, you realize that what comes next is going to get exhausted very, very likely, okay? If you do get that exhaustion, which you will find out in the first hour to the second hour, in this case, that's the moment that you're looking for a double top, triple top. We were hitting the value area low of this range, okay? Which, gives you that potential entry here in this zone. As we got this movement down, the bearish case scenario is moving down in a wave 1, up in a wave 2, down in another 1 and 2. The bullish case scenario is that this is a 3-wave corrective structure as we have overlapped with this movement up, this this to be a third wave failed. It failed for the moment to be a third wave. So the most bearish case scenario is forming a 1-2, 1 and 2. And this is where, we got Devil, obviously, talking about the possible short trade here in this zone at the previous day value area high. If you miss that short position, you are interested in analyzing this movement to the downside. When we do zoom in on this movement, that's literally what I wanted to talk about here. We can clearly see that you moved down in a internal 5-wave move to the downside here. Always, if you're speculating that you could be forming a double 1-2, 1-2, 1 and 2, perfect. Your second 1 and 2 is smaller than the first 1-2. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see in a double 1-2. Your second wave 2 being smaller in time and price action than the first 1 and 2. I'm not sure if I'm in the way here. Probably need to go down here. So if you miss the short from either the other day that we mentioned, which is obviously a swing short position, you want to collect some profits, but this is the kind of short at 107k that you want to hold to give a chance to get down to 99k. But you want to, obviously, there's a free trade at the moment and you've collected some profits. If you did not short here yesterday for this speculative move down, then you could have shorted here today. However, if you did not short here, you could have shorted here, right? And the main reason why, after a 1-2, 1-2, if you are going to be building your third wave down, you are building another 1-2, right? Till the third wave happens at some point, right? At some point, you could build another 1 and 2, and then the 1-2, and then 3, right? You're downtrending at some point. If you are looking for the bearish scenarios, there will be a moment that the price will collapse in that wave 3 if it is going to be the one that is going to come to fruition. And as traders, we only need to realize, where do our entries come, right? Where do I find my entries? Because if you shorted here yesterday, which was not a good idea that we mentioned, you just you're underwater at the moment, and hopefully you're expecting the 1-2, 1-2, right, to come to fruition, so you can actually close at break even or at profits, right? You don't know what you're doing. So not a good entry here. You want to try and short the bounces and detect a motive wave down, which is what happened right over here, to give you that entry. Quick entry, SFP. You're looking at the 50% to the 7-8 Fibonacci. If this is a wave 1 and you're going to form a wave 2, if it is going to be that, you are looking literally for 50% to the 7-8 Fibonacci to reject. And your best shot to get a best entry is a swing failure pattern from the possible fourth wave, right? That order block high right there is your entry trigger, right? I mean, it's just better right now to just go through the education just so you can realize where you're looking for that spot here. This scenario, I mean, it's literally a kind of a strategy. It is a strategy, really. We talk about this a lot of the times. When you have your fair value gap, when you do have your fair value gap, right? And a consolidation, your first dead cat bounce from the big move, which is this pivot right over here, it's such a good swing failure pattern entry. This is like 85% accurate, guys. It's super, super, super helpful. And obviously, if you do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just gives you the entry. If you get the move down $1,000, you want to collect some profits. It's a potential free trade. You can be defensive. Stop loss is very, very small anyway, right? But overall, it gives you the entry. It gives you that good entry and good responsible risk management. This, matter of fact, this is the same scenario as this one right over here. look at the fair value gap that we had right over here. If you break this zone, you got a good chance that the price could get to 120k levels. That's when you have your next big major cluster. So what happened here? Well, you got your 1, 2, your big 3 fair value gap, your 4 dead cat, first major dead cat bounce after the big move down. And then this move down, the 5th wave, we would, arguably discuss. And then obviously, you do see this, reacting. That's a beautiful swing failure pattern. I mean, maybe some people are still short from 116k. Could have the price done this and then this? Absolutely, but it just gives you the entry, right? It gives you a good entry. It gives you a good plan, a good entry, a good stop loss. You want to collect some profits on the way down. You want to leave some open. So this theory right over here is literally the same one that I'm explaining here on the 15-minute time frame, right? It's the same thing, but basically on today's price action. Okay, so you literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have the movement up here to claim the lower highs right there from your fair value gap. That gives you the possible entry trigger. Quick sniper trade rejection from the order block highs. So, I mean, yeah, just to cover that as education, fair value gap, the first dead cat bounce after a big major candle. It doesn't matter. It happens on all time frames. The 4-hourly time frame, the 15-minute time frame, right? And you can apply it depending if you're looking for scalp entries or more swing trade entries, right? So just for that, if you like that education, guys, make sure to smash up the like button right away, right? Because, we provide the education and seen what's happened in the past and see how it happens here on the lower time frame. What if the price right now recovers from here and it just like blasts off? Oh, I thought this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You said that this would be the rejection of the corrective structure, right? If you're forming an emotive wave down, you're looking for a lower high from this pivot high, right? You're looking for a lower high to claim the lows. What if the price pumps from here? What are you going to say then? In front of over 500 people watching you on YouTube. You have to say that you're wrong. Well, it's all about understanding the entry. Right? It's all about understanding the entry, how to trade it, how to enter, how to manage risk. Where's your stop loss? Where's your entry point, right? The possible projection could go lower. However, if the price were to come up, then we will have to identify all of this as, hey, this then inevitably has to be some kind of a corrective structure. If we do claim the highs, it wasn't an impulse. After an impulse, you want to see a lower high and go to lower levels. So what would you come up with then later on, right? If you do claim the highs, it's a channel, it's a bull flag, you're breaking up. Well, then you need to study the movement to the upside, right? Then it's when, is there a chance here to basically label a flat? Because if you have a 5 wave down, you can fit a flat, but you can't fit a flat here. Your B wave is extremely large. So there's no A, B, C. It kind of doesn't make sense. The only rare corrective structure that you could form in a 5-wave move is a triple zigzag in a WXYXZ. So this is like rare, doesn't usually happen. This movement to the upside doesn't look too promising, I have to say. This movement up is not the most promising move to the upside that I have seen, and it looks extremely corrective. You have this movement up, range, this movement up, okay? Then you have this movement down, then up and down, and then you have this. So, when you're trying to label something impulsive with this move, we got an issue here. We definitely have something. We have a 3-wave up. We kind of have a 3-wave down or a bit of a running flat situation. We could arguably discuss that it could be a double zigzag, right? That's what fits here a little bit better. You got a zigzag up, movement down, and another zigzag to the upside. This counts better as a corrective structure than an impulsive move, which gives priority for the bears to take out this low rather than this high. So just by understanding that bounce that we had after the movement down that we had yesterday, you give a bit of priority to the bears for lower high potential here to move down to the lows. With that understanding, then eventually, you're interested in looking for shorts at levels of confluence. In this case, we had yesterday the previous day value area high that today we failed to get above. The movement down already does look, previous day value area high failed to break and get continuation. Big fair value gap that we did not manage to fill. We failed to get above previous day value area high, and moving down in a more motive wave. I would prioritize this movement down as a motive wave. This looks more corrective. Movement down looks more impulsive. The general trend is to the downside. So you know where I'm going with here, right? So inevitably this area at the golden pocket 7-8 is your chance to speculate on a lower high here. What is interesting about this is on the lower time frame, man, this movement up was relatively fast. I have to say, I usually like to see after a 5-wave down, you don't always get what you want in trading, guys. If you would, then you would be making millions every day, right? If the price does exactly what you say. But I would have enjoyed here much better a 3-wave move up like this and then the rejection, right? Just a classic ABC, right? 5-wave down, 3-wave up. That would have been the ideal classic scenario. However, the price, this is 15-minute, 5-minute time frame. It's not gonna, it's not gonna fit in nicely all the time, right? So, could we have had a 3-wave structure already here on the 1-minute time frame, right? With this pump, it already claimed, almost the 7-8 Fibonacci, which is your limit zone for a lower high. Maybe that's the case. I would give a chance for another short entry, guys, because the market is ferocious. The market doesn't want you to make money, right? The market doesn't want you to make money. If you are longing from here, as mentioned yesterday, right? You look for that double bottom scenario. You're longed here. Let's give a take. Stop loss at the low. Price recovers to hit the highs. Lower highs right there. You also have that fair value gap, some local lower highs on the lower time frame. You get that reaction move down. If you put your stop loss at break even, the market is going to wick you out and leave without you, right? It's what it does. What it does best, right? That's happened to me as I've been a very defensive trader in my career, and I've got stopped out at break even at thousands of trades. I would say thousands of trades I've got taken profit, stopped out at break even, and then the price leaves without me. It's one of those things that happens consistently if you are a defensive trader. But most importantly, you don't lose money, right? You miss a lot of trades, you miss a lot of rallies. But you don't lose money, and that's the most important thing in trading, guys, because obviously what's most common on the trading career of most of the people is that you end up losing money instead of making money. So it doesn't matter losing trading setups when you get stopped out at break even, because there's another opportunity, there's another plan around the corner. So with this theory that I'm explaining right now, because we've moved up relatively quick to this high, I would give a cheeky chance that the price might wick back up that high and then move down to then form a bit of a 3-waver, a little bit more timing into this movement to the downside. That is possible. So look no further. your entry trigger would have to be this local double top. If you do not double top, you claim the highs. If you get that wick, price is pretty fast and ferocious, just like we did here to claim these lower highs. You're looking for that sniper trade entry. Maybe this could be the one. And whoever shorted this one here gets stopped out, goes out for dinner, comes back, and he just realizes that he got stopped out and the price went without him. Right? It happens a lot. So that rejection from the high is if we were to come up there, maybe this is the one already, guys, right? This is just an idea. Maybe this is the one already that starts breaking down aggressively. But just so you understand, the market doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't, maybe that trade is not the one, maybe it's this one. And you end up forming a bit of a three waver here. So yeah, it's just I see it many times, just as explained, right? You get those wicks. In this case, it didn't claim the low, but you get the idea. Why would this happen? Well, you're literally getting a bit more of a three-wave structure. The high could be in here. Structure is first. So you are downtrending. You claim the fourth wave here. Maybe you can nuke down already. That's totally fine. I don't know what comes next, but I do understand if this happens, this is going to provide me an entry. Okay? The rejection provides me an entry and stop loss above the high of the wick. Will it happen or not? I don't know, and I don't care. It's just it's a plan, right? It's a plan, and it's all about creating a plan. This would be an interesting entry point, even though this one was the entry point right over here, as explained. It's always good to collect some profits, but the entry point was with undoubtedly that swing failure pattern from these local highs, based on the explanation that we have a 5-wave move to the downside. And most commonly, your corrective bounce comes to the fourth wave. And obviously, if you're looking for a wave 1 and a wave 2 to follow by a wave 3 later on throughout the day, an SFP of the fourth wave coming into the golden pocket 7-8 Fibonacci is your best trigger. Your best trigger right there. Fourth wave, the correction to the fourth wave is your best entry point, as explained on this screen, right? 1 2 3 4 5 correction to the fourth wave. So that's an idea, guys. Anybody, shorting down here is not an option. There's no option here for a short. There's no option for a short here. There's no option for a long for a short. There's nothing to do here in the zone. However, if the market does come up to test those highs as cheeky as it gets, that has the potential to roll back down. So that would be another short entry that I would be interested in. If the market does break above this level, then happy days. Whoever longed from here, is still making some profits on that. But it's not looking too great for the market at the moment. We are moving down, but who knows, right? Who knows? Whoever got into short here or short the other day or short here, this was your next short entry. We could get a next short entry if the market feels cheeky. It could do this. Still maintain this as a lower high, and your short trigger, look no further, it would be that local double top, just to provide the potential of this being a motive wave, this a corrective, and the market just feels cheeky and wants to wick that high again because people are shorting here like crazy, and it gets that, stops them out and then leaves, right? So look no further. That would be the new short position if the market wants to give us that opportunity here to take that short. Okay, but as mentioned, market doesn't need to do that. So you get the opportunities once, you might get it again, maybe not. Price might leave without you. So The thing is about a bounce happening in this zone, I'm not confident, guys, for a bounce in this area, even though we do have the previous day point of control slightly beneath that wick. Yesterday's point of control from this range literally is sitting down here at 101.6. We barely scratched it, almost we missed it by $100 or so with the recent move down. Man, I mean, this is it's the previous day point of control. What can we say? But I wouldn't count on it. The main reason I don't like this point of control, which it could bounce, guys, you know, don't get me wrong here. Whoever's you know, feels confident in longing that point of control there from yesterday, the main reason why I don't like it is because of the downtrending structure that we have. The downtrending structure that we do have looks, you know, it looks unfinished. Where we have here, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on a minute. However, you have this move down, bounce, lower high, lower low, lower high, this movement to the upside. Does look, man, I've got some issues here with Tradingview. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that, guys. The problem is this bounce looks more corrective, guys. This, you know, it looks extremely corrective. So the problem here with any new longs in between this low and, you know, yeah, basically any longs to speculate on a higher low here in this downtrend, when the movement to the upside looks extremely corrective and you have a valid count of an impulsive move down here already, any longs that wants to be taken in this zone has high risk. Is high risk. You could bounce eventually, right? I don't see it. I'm not confident in the price forming a higher low here. Point of control from yesterday, it doesn't matter. It's one of those levels that looks like it wants to get broken and get down below 100,700, which was the lows of yesterday. And then we'll see how that's, you know, how we move down from here. But, you know, there's just no long entries in this zone, unfortunately, guys. At least for me, anyway. You might have your strategy. We might be hitting the 20-day moving average, or the 20, you know, I don't know, maybe yes. I see the anchored VWAP. But for me, based on the strategies that I use, there's no long trade here to be taken. So yeah, anyway, let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community, guys. Remember, if you are interested in trading, you do have BTCC, Bluffin, great exchanges, guys. You have the biggest bonus available, 20% cashback on Bluffin. There's going to be a very, very good campaign coming soon also for Bluffin that will be mentioned. BTCC, $10,000 in rewards, guys, okay? The more you deposit and trade, the more airdrops you are going to get, okay? To increase your trading capital up to $10,000. Check out the links, guys, BTCC or Bluffin. Both of them are extremely good platforms. You just need an email and a password to sign up. Let's go through comment section, and I kind of feel bad because of that setup that I had ready just before we started the stream, but we pumped very aggressively, very fast, over $1,500 almost as we started the stream, which as we were looking at the higher time frame, I was not aware of that quick little pump. But anyway, just as you know, the education is what matters at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you know why my views are down? Because people learn how to trade and they don't need to watch anymore, right? That's the overall game plan. So that's what we want to do, provide good quality education to improve everybody that watches every single day and improves and gets the trading ideas and the setups and the strategies, and finally, you know, knows how to trade on their own without anybody that they need. They know how to create the plans, they know their risk management, and they know exactly when to enter and where to place their stop losses. And that's the overall game plan here at the end of the day. So as explained, that short was interesting. Okay, so what would be the next major short? You know, if we don't get it and the price moves lower from here, it might just break down, guys, right? There's no interest for me for any longs in this area. The short trade was this one. If the market feels cheeky and it wants to form a flat, you know, possibly it could revisit this high. Possibly it could double bottom. Just because this movement was fast, even though I would prioritize shorts, maybe you do get a bounce, but it's risky because having a motive wave down and a bounce gives you the risk to fall here. However, because this bounce happened very, very fast, you could form a flat or a running flat and, you know, either take out the highs or maybe be shallow here and then roll over later on, taking out the highs or not. Ideally, taking out the highs would give you that short trigger on the rejection. This long becomes risky. We don't need to form the flat. We don't need to form it, but it could be an idea, right? Market likes to do some wiki down and uppy, right? And it's just a general local idea that, yeah, it could happen 1 2 3 4 5 because this movement happened very, very fast. The market might just sweep up the lows, try and sweep up the highs, and then ultimately roll over. And, you know, initially you're looking at a flat structure. So it's an idea that could happen. Why could it happen? Because this movement happened very, very fast. Does it need to happen? Will it happen? No, but it could. So, I mean, this is what you need to always ask yourself, right, as a trader. What could develop next? What could develop next? And that's how you create the plans. So a long here is risky. You don't need to form a flat. It could just collapse down. If you were to move up and break here from the highs, you might come up to me and say, hey, that was an awesome long position. Why didn't we get in? And I can just say the main reason why I did not get into a long position anywhere in between 100,700 and 102,000, the main reason is because this movement up looks a bit more corrective and the movement down that we have here looks more impulsive, and you are downtrending eventually. So the thing is that we do have here that is positive, which you always want to take into consideration, is CVD. CVD, I think, is one of the most powerful tools out there. It just gives you how many traders are entering on shorts and longs. And we do have bullish CVD divergence from the lows of yesterday. We got higher lows and lower lows across all of the exchanges. This doesn't give you a major reason. Structure always, you know, has priority. If we are downtrending, if the movement up looks corrective and the movement down looks impulsive, you don't give priority to the CVDs. And obviously, most importantly, CVD is muy importante on the lower time frames. Lower time frames, CVD divergence are more important. We didn't get any bearish CVD ones, but you got enough recent longs entering on that movement. Okay, 5.8 million longs entering here and price coming back down to the longs, right? People longing here to the upside, and now prices, you know, coming back down to claim those lows. So not too interested here locally, guys. I mean, we probably just scratching that previous day point of control and the daily open. Today's open, the market opened exactly where we've just tapped. So we got previous day point of control and daily open right over here, exactly right now, which is where we're getting the reaction at the moment. I'm not interested in this long, if I'm honest. Very, very aggressive tap and long. Not interested, me personally, here, guys. we just tap the daily open and the previous day point of control when we do take a look at the session volume profile, which we are getting a little reaction bounce of a few $100. Risky attempt. Previous day point of control, the highest volume node that we have, right, is where we are tackling at the moment. Little reaction bounce of a couple of $100, a few $100 at the moment. Very aggressive. You know, I mean, I'm not personally interested based on the downtrend. Daily open as well. This is where we opened today, and we're just tackling right now, legends. So let's talk about other setups. 4 hourly bear flag. Yeah, I mean, that kind of fits in with the analysis. That fits in with the analysis. We can talk about that bear flag right away, legends. Make sure to destroy the like button. Let's do a like button recount, legends. But yeah, man, what a legend. This guy is clearly knowing what's going on. 4 hourly bear flag. There we go. Keep it simple. You're moving down. You broke structure. We like to go a little bit in detail on the lower time frame, just so we talk about speculative entry points, right? Which there was one right over here in this zone. But yeah, literally that's it, guys. Come on, textbook, bear flag. Anyway, we go a little bit more in detail. All markets are manipulated. Look at Forex. My man, Mark Dutch, where have you been? Where have you been? I've been doing live streams for the last few weeks, man. I missed you. Where were you? I missed you, man. Mark Dutch, the legend himself, one of the moderators that started here in the channel when I was just a few thousand subscribers. Absolute legend. Here he is, the masterpiece, Staffer One, my man. Much love to you, because you've been around and about throughout the streams. But this guy is the OG moderator. He's literally been on the channel for almost 5 years, I would say. Staffer One, much love, thanks. 600 watching, only 150 likes. I quit my mod job. I know, man. You haven't been here for a few weeks. Where the heck have you been, man? Mark Dutch, moderator throughout many crypto channels, also on my channel for many years now. Shout out to you, my man. I hope you're doing well. Also, Staffer One and everybody, and Devil here. Let's hit that like for Andy. Great analysis. Devil, my man, you've been around and not putting any comments. Come on. We were talking about, well, you've seen it, right? You've seen it. Shout out to Devil, by the way, that talked about a potential short entry purely based on a multiple 1-2 setup here. 1-2, 1-2, previous day value area high, rejection. Let's go. And unfortunately, oh man, I feel so bad. You know, we'll talk about another scenario. Longs are longs are dangerous in my opinion at this point. This move up looks more corrective. This move down has a good chance to be in motive. But damn, I feel so bad. I feel like really bad, because this is something that I wanted to talk about on the stream as we were going from 4 hourly to the 1 hourly to the 15-minute time frame. And we got one right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Claim the fourth wave, right? Fair value gap. Short trigger right there. Keep some open. Take profits. Keep some open. Because, you know, there could be that wave 3 happening at some point. It might be today. It might be tomorrow. It might never happen, and we're forming a 1-2, 1-2. Off we go. I don't like this scenario. The probabilities are low, and Devil very much understands them. A double 1-2 here, with your second 1 and 2 being the longest one. You never give it priority. So an ABC scenario here fits much better. ABC, whoever's in a short from 107k that we mentioned just a few days, guys, talking about that little fourth wave to happen, and then a pump to 107k, right? Attempt to get to 107.5k. That's the double top that we're looking for. Keep that short open, legends. Break even. We could be getting down to 99k, then collect the rest of the profits, legends. That's how we do it. That's what we want to do. So, I mean, there's really, shorts are a little bit in advantage here. Longs, yeah, we do have some bullish CVDs, but man, in a downtrend, structure always leads the way. And apparently this movement up is not looking too impulsive. This movement down looks a little bit more aggressive. And even though we got more shorts entering the market, based on the structure, that always wins, guys. Structure always leads the market. Priority is that these bullish CVD divergence are just not going to do anything. So we are looking possibly for those lows to be claimed of yesterday at 100,700, and we have the risk of breaking down in a third wave. Looking at new long positions, guys, because I am interested in new longs. The long that from yesterday is going to get stopped out at break even, so some profits have been taken. Well, that's how we do it. The only level for longing at the moment, guys, can be massive. It can be a great swing long position. And we're going to talk about it. We have to talk about it. We need to talk. Me and you, we need to talk about that scenario right away. We need to get ready. We need to get ready, guys. And that's what we're going to do right now. So, overall, man, if this is... Guys, is the bear market already started? First of all, let's ask that question. I'm excited to know your votes, guys. We've got over 500 people watching. This is going to be awesome. Great poll here. Has the bear market started? Right? Has it started, guys? Yes or no? Has the bear market started? Let me know. It's important. According to the 4-year cycle theory, we probably started the bear market. Maybe 126,000 was the highs. The technicals does provide a bullish scenario that we want to talk about. We need to talk about it. I do believe, based on the analysis, that at some point in the next coming weeks, we're going to reach 116K, guys. It's such an obvious level that we're likely going to see the market coming up to in the next coming weeks, guys. This double top is such an obvious level, regardless if we bounce at 99 or at 95K, that it's going to be reached at some point. And it's just so classic. When you have these two lower highs, you do have the liquidity. There's lots of liquidity down, guys, but you have that liquidity at 116K. I am prioritizing that scenario on the higher time frame. Yeah, I am prioritizing to get down below 99K, but I am prioritizing that we will not break down aggressively below 99K. 98, 96, maybe 94, maybe it gets a bit wicky and it wants to play around here. But breaking down here successfully, that big point of control that we have from this range, I don't think so. What do you guys think? Let's see the bear market's calls here. Do you think that we're going to break down this major high volume node, which is sitting at 96.5? I don't think so. Yeah, we can wick below it. Yeah, we can get down. It might hit the golden pocket from this wick low to the pivot high. Maybe that's an option. It's not too far off, just $1,000 away from that point of control. It might get a little aggressive. It can get aggressive. Oh boy, I'm looking for this point of control for either a reclaim or golden pocket. Stay safe here, guys. If we were to come down there, maybe today, maybe in the next few days, we might not go down there. But it is without a doubt the most interesting zone that we do have after sweeping that higher low of the 22nd of June. Man, this is the opportunity area for a swing long. It's super important how to manage this trade, guys, because you're going to get all of the maniacs of the group, that people that are watching, that are just going to put limit longs here throughout, all the way down to 60K if you have enough capital. A double 1-2 here has a chance. I have to say it has a chance, but I'm not. It's low probability. But if you do this kind of trading, I don't want to have any responsibility. of your irresponsibility. Okay, we do not want to trade like that. We want to see proof of support. We want to hold support. We want to get either above one of these major pivots, which is the 22nd of June higher low, the point of control, or the golden pocket, which, you know, is coming down at 94K. Man, you got several levels that you can decide which one is going to hold and which one is actually getting above. Manage risk accordingly, right? It's so easy just to put stop loss beneath the low after recovering one of these levels. And if you get a decent bounce, protect position. And if you come back down to entry point, look for the double bottom and look for an entry either at golden pocket or the double bottom. But this whole thing about limit longs, it's going to play out, possibly. It could definitely play out. Get an average good entry and then, you know, wow, you know, it's an easy way, but it's an easy way. Easy ways, you know, it can work very well in this case where there's so many support. But if it breaks down, I know I'm going to be fine. I'm worried about you people. I'm worried about you. I would rather miss the trade at the low on one of SFPs. Don't worry, we can get in. If this has to hold and recover in the next coming weeks, don't worry. You know, there will be a sign that, okay, you know, we can jump in later on. I don't expect a V-shaped recovery. I don't mind catching the low exactly if I'm not awake. But one of these levels needs to hold. Higher low of the 22nd of June. Point of control. Golden pocket. One of them is going to be the guideline that actually gets the bounce. Which one will it be? We're going to have to be, you know, very much watching which is the one that's holding. Right? So the bullish case scenario, I'll go through the polls, guys. Make sure to get your votes in, okay? Make sure to go get your votes in right away on the poll. Get your votes. Smash up the like button. Let's go. We're over 600 people watching the stream right now. Let's go, legends. Here we are. Channel's getting back the views that it needs. People smashing. I'll go through the comment section right away, guys, but we need to go through the technicals. We need to be ready on some levels and some scenarios. The bullish case scenario inevitably would be forming a contracting diagonal here to the downside to finish that fifth wave below 99K at some point. This fifth wave has the projection to come all the way down. We get the length of the third wave to the top of the fourth wave to $90,000. 89.6 is the one-to-one that would invalidate the contracting diagonal, and I'm not sure what we would be looking for here. Maybe we're breaking down in a third wave. I do not think we will reach 90K. 96.5, 94 golden pocket, 98.2. One of those levels are the ones that we're looking for this fifth wave to terminate. And after this 5-wave move to the downside, there's two options. We get a corrective bounce and we nuke down bear market, guys. I was wrong about the idea that the top is not in, because I am giving a chance for the bull market top not to be in, guys. And this is the reason why. This would be your wave 1. You're looking for your wave 2. Very poor bounce, might get to 116K. Corrective channel formation. Not looking great, guys. This would be a moment of panic when you're forming a corrective bouncy structure, lots of overlap. Oh my goodness, guys, it's not looking great. However, the bullish case scenario is forming the flat structure, guys. There is still a good chance that from the correction of the August all-time high, 3-wave down, 3-wave up, 5-wave down to complete your C wave of an ABC flat. This is what we are speculating on for the bull market not to be in, and that we could be very, very close in bottoming out here to get a full-on reversal. We do have obviously after this, we're looking for all-time high in the next coming weeks, guys. We are looking for a significant recovery. That's overall what we're looking at. patterns are forming, the structure is forming, everything aligns. Nothing better to have extreme fear index down the toilet. Max fear, guys, extreme fear. Last time we were here this year was back in March and April. March, April, we had these extreme fear. Man, 15, this is insane. It's very, very low, guys. Fear across the market is big. It's been big for a few weeks now. Last time was in March and April, so we can be in extreme fear for another couple of weeks, right? We've been here for a few weeks. We're downtrending. We could be testing the lows, but I would say that a reversal is very much cooking very, very soon, guys. You know, which is the level that's going to bounce? That is the question. That's when you need to go through the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame to really analyze where's that fair value gap. Because that fair value gap, that big wave down, is going to provide you the moment where the price is getting exhausted. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When you get that big gap after the dead gap bounces, this is bingo, guys. That's what we need. Time to reverse, baby. We want to get into those trades like a maniac. That's the moment. Will it be that easy or not? Well, maybe not. Maybe it could get some aggressive bounce, but we want the big wave first, guys. There's no rush in getting into the falling knife. No rush. What you're looking after a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? After the third wave, you're looking for a 4, 5 of some kind. 1, 2, 3. Want to catch the low here? You know, big liquidation event. It's dangerous. Dead cat bounce. Test the low. Bingo. That's the bounce that we're looking for. So yeah, on the lower time frame here, you know, if this is the pattern that is going to form, and if this is building up multiple 1-2s, you are going to get that big movement down at some point, right? If it is going to happen, you're going to get the big move down, and then you're going to get the dead cat bounce and the 4 and 5, right? Just like this scenario here on a larger scale eventually. So we want to be a little bit patient. We want to be a little bit patient, guys, for any longs, swing longs, right? If you don't want to be patient, then if you want to put limit longs here and hope for the best, then, you know, that's good luck with that, right? What can I say? So yeah, let's go through the comment section. That's a little bit of what we're looking at on the higher time frame. I don't have any major longs to be taken here where we are at the moment. We remain patient. Probabilities are leaning for the bears. There's no quick long trades to be taken in this zone. We got danger of a multiple 1-2 breakdown in a third wave. Whoever catch that short, my goodness, holy smokes, that was the short of the day, guys. I'm so sorry. I was late on that short, guys. SFP of these lower highs. It's been explained throughout the first 30 minutes of the stream. That was the short entry. Anybody that is not in short from higher, of course. It was just a new entry point. So yeah, what can we say? I mean, there's no quick longs here, guys. Shorts were the option on the bouncers. There's literally no short, guys, that I can give you here based on the risk of forming a multiple 1-2 in this movement here. And another little 1-2 here. We could be developing that third wave throughout the next coming hours, and we just collapse. So no longs here, at least for me. Maybe you have a plan or some magic indicator moving average with some RSI, you know, oversold on the 1 minute, and you want to take a long. Well, not me anyway. Much love to aping in on the long, Andy. Christian, no, my man. Stay safe. Falling down. Took short. Back 10 minutes. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Andy, if you show my chart, you will be shocked about the recent short. Woo! Where's your short? Hang on a minute. In the pro community. Go on. Send the message. Send the message. In the pro community. Share it in the pro community so we can share here with the legends. Let's see if you do get that short. Yeah, you might share it here. Staffer one in the pro community. Andy looks long. Andy looks long. Oh man, you know, for me there's literally no longs here for me anyway in this zone, guys. If we were to bounce from here, I would not be interested in any longs. It's unfortunate, guys, because the opportunity after this bounce was either here that Devil provided. You got the impulsive move down, and now, you know, the bounce to the upside, and that was your short trigger entry. So there's literally no longs, at least for me here. And for new shorts, I would really speculate on another potential double 1-2 here, if the price doesn't want to nuke down. So what would be the best entry point? Because this is what the market does, right? The market, if it doesn't break down in that third wave, that might happen in the, you know, at some point, if you do get their 1-2, if this is not your third wave that breaks down, then you're looking for a double 1-2. Maybe this is building up the third wave that breaks down, and that's when you go through the lower time frame, and you go through if this is your first 1 and 2 before the third wave. If the third wave doesn't develop here, could we form another 1 and 2 here? And that's where it looks interesting for that possible short trade. And I think session volume profile here would give us a general idea. I'm not sure if we would get that bounce anyway, but you know, I would speculate on a 1-2 and a small 1-2 here possibly. Today's point of control could be a zone of interest. Not enough, not a big fair value gap. I would rather see the price nuking down from here, if I'm honest with you. No easy setups with the current price action. The easiest setup that we had today was this short here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A move up or even a flat here. Regardless, that's your short entry. And there's no good longs here anyway for me. The price could bounce, but I don't have a strategy here for the long, unfortunately. So we're going to have to remain patient. Hold the shorts. Take a bit of profits of the shorts, but hold some, because there's a good possibility that we get below 99k. That's when I'm interested in looking for new longs. We want to see exhaustion. We want to see that big move down. And after a big move down, most commonly you get the dead cat bounce, test the lows, form a bit of a wedgie structure. Potentially, you don't always have to form that. Coming into the levels of support, contracting diagonal, potentially completed. Big fat reversal. Target 1 would be the lower highs at 107.5. Next target would be 116k. Let's get down there first. Let's get some proof of support. And let's see if this scenario is the one that is going to come to fruition in the next coming days. No quick longs here in this zone, unfortunately, as this move has higher probability being corrective, and the multiple 1-2 actually has low probability. If it bounces from here, this would be a miss long. I would say I missed this long. Right, so what could change? What could change my mind to get into a long position, right? You have lower high resistance trend. We would have to see something pretty explosive. I mean, this bounce was a bunch of crap, guys. This bounce that we had between yesterday and today, my goodness, there's not a move that looks more corrective than this piece of crap. This bounce looked awful, man. There's nothing bullish about this bounce. It looks awful. So Yeah, we would have to see some kind of a big move up here. And a very this piece of crap right there, we would have to see it the same way, literally on a, you know, inverted here in a correction. We would have to see some piece of crap like this here. That those look corrective. And the movement up looks impulsive to speculate on a higher low here and long. But man, after this move, there's no longs to be taken here, at least for me anyway. You might tell me if you think there's a good long here in the comment section. Anyway, let's go dive in here through the comment section. Looking at 100.6k for a long. Looking at 100.6k. I mean, yeah, maybe a local double bottom right there, 106k. I mean, we do have a naked point of control that was hit yesterday. Forgot to point that out yesterday, guys. We actually had a naked point of control. Damn, that would have been, you know, if you wanted to catch a lower entry based on yesterday's setup from the fake out of the daily, which was at 101.2.9, then the naked point of control was actually a better one right over here from the price action of last Friday. We tapped into the level. That was a better entry, a few $100s. But you are saying that you're looking at 106k. No, not that I see anything interesting here. No major levels that I have. A naked point of control has been tapped. I don't know, man. 106k long. I mean, yeah, I mean, a double bottom here would be very aggressive. Very aggressive. Could you form some kind of a diagonal here in a 5-wave structure? Let's try and point that out here. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would give priority to for a double 1-2 if you're going to lose this low. It's dangerous to long here, guys. Es peligroso. Muy peligroso. To long here right now. 5-wave down. To bounce on a 5th wave here. It would have to be a diagonal expanding one. I don't know, man. I don't know. Double 1-2 would have priority, at least for me here with my reading. Not enough confluence in this zone. And yeah, you could arguably discuss you have valley area low. But I mean, this is like catching a bounce and being very aggressive on catching a falling knife. I can tell you that's a risky long. Any longs beneath this low is muy peligroso. I'm not sure if you want to catch here an SFP over the valley area low. Stop loss beneath the low. 100,500. It's just not a good long. Rather be patient and have a new structure. Today we had a beautiful scenario here. Beautiful short right there at 103.2k, guys. My goodness, this is what we want to see every day. Holy smokes, this is like incredible. This is like the bomb diggity, you know, this is the meat and potatoes that we're looking for. 5-wave move to the downside and an ABC flat. I mean, bang bang boom. Claim the highs, 4th wave, golden pocket. Bang, whoosh. I mean, that's the one that we want to get into. So at the end of the day, that's what we look for, guys. So as the price is falling down here, we got not much support. If you get an epic rally from here out of nowhere, it's just there's no setup, right? There's no plan. So unfortunately, yeah, we don't have that. I would remain patient tomorrow to see if we do get, you know, today, tomorrow, if we were to get down, it might not happen. Ultimately, other scenarios, yeah, just gonna have to wait for some scenarios. Not much that I could say here. Let's go through the comment section. I was thinking about taking along. Any suggestion? Yeah, not till we get below 99k, at least for me. No long, says Meds. No long, men. The biggest spikes come in bear markets. Yes, stop considering 100.6 people. What is it with 106? Cyrus, I say what I want, big dog. Andy, isn't it a problem that wave 4 was a flat instead inside this diagonal? Wave 4 was a flat inside of this diagonal. Which one? The one to the higher time frame one? The higher time frame, this contracting diagonal, wave 4 was a flat, or on the lower time frame? Let me know, because we got this one, wave 4, no diagonal here. This was a pretty clear 3-wave structure as it was getting developed a few days ago. Who was on a stream a few days ago, guys, when we were talking about this potentially being the wave 4 already, rejecting at 107k? We were analyzing the waves, analyzing the confluence. We got the big move up, which we can label as the wave 3, get a little consolidation, bang bang, double top for the 5th wave. Who got into a short at 107k just a couple of days ago is in the money. It's printing, right, as they say. Let's go through the comment section. The higher time frame, you have Patron, the higher time frame one. Yeah, I don't see a flat structure here on this wave 4. It is a zigzaggy move. Are you saying because we got down here, I wouldn't consider this a flat? I would not consider this a flat, only because we hit the 0.88, right? It doesn't matter. You can hit the 0.9 Fibonacci. Okay, I get your point here. You are damn, I'm losing my voice. You are considering this a flat because we hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, right? Which is your minimum target for a B wave for a flat. And flats are not possible in diagonals. Very good point there. However, if you form a higher low, no matter if you've hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, you can label it as a zigzag. The problem would have been claiming the low. Okay, this one right over here, that maybe on some exchanges was claimed. I haven't actually checked, but it is a higher low. And if you do hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, which is considered the zone for the flat, I mean, maybe this did hit the 1.618 extension. I mean, that would be pretty awesome. That's something that I didn't take a look at. I did hit the 1236 1382, which is your common zigzag ABC movement. So as long as you formed a higher low, you can consider it as a zigzag. The problem is if you would have hit the low right there, then we would have to label it as a flat structure. But because it was a higher low, you can label it as a zigzag. So is that because I see there are 335. Yeah, well, this movement to the upside, we could label some kind of a 5-wave move up. Okay. Are you saying, so are you saying 3 and 3 here and then 5, right? You can label this as a 5-waver even though it doesn't look great. There is a way of counting this as a 5-wave move to the upside. But yeah, he had a good point right there. Good point on considering the flat, mainly because of 3-3. It doesn't look incredibly beautiful. I mean, this is like 5-minute Elliott wave analysis, which we want to stay away of, right? Sometimes you just need waves are not perfect. Waves don't have to be perfect all of the time. But you could consider wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little bit of a mix here. And, you just got such a staircase here that's absolutely insane. You can fit many waves here. You can fit a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, and then a 4 and 5. It doesn't look great, but it is challenging. This momentum is challenging to count as a 5-waver, but there is no doubt a way of counting it as a 5-wave move up. Okay, the waves are not perfect always, right? We want them to be perfect, but not always they are, right? So interesting. I can force in this a 5 waiver, but it counts better as a 3 waiver, which is allowed only in this flat. Very true. You have Patron. Very, very true. A lot of liquidity at 100k, says Jerome. Also, we are coming down to sweep up some of that liquidity scenario. I mean, look no further, right? Let's do a light recount, guys, and then we go. Yeah, it's still a lot of liquidity, as Jerome is saying here at the 100k level. Ooh, lot of liquidity here. A lot of liquidations. So yeah, it would be interesting actually to come down below 99k, get it on the higher time frame. On the liquidity heat map, we do have liquidity to the upside as well, guys. So let's get that liquidity sorted with in between today and tomorrow. That would be nice. Let's see if the market gives us that opportunity. Let's do a like recount, guys, and as we do that like recount, we will go through the comment section, continue. Let's get to 300 likes. We can do that. Over 500 people watching the stream. Let's go through the poll right away. Has the bear market started? 46% of people, guys. You know, at blow off tops, when bear market starts, you want to see a lot of people being bullish, not bearish. I mean, I would say that there is a significant chunk here of people being bearish. Over 300 votes, guys. Get your votes in right away to have a general public opinion here. 46% of people are saying yes. It's significant, right? People are pretty confident that bear market is starting or has started already, right? Fear and greed index at 15, guys. The last time we were at 15 in the fear and greed index was back in March, April. You know, we usually get significant rallies here when we come this low. March, April was the last. August of 2024 into September was the previous one from that. Of course, you could say, well, obviously we were in bull market. Now we're not. So I get the point there. But yeah, you know, last time we were at these levels and the fear and greed index was March and April. So yeah, coming a few times to this major support level. The technicals do provide that big, massive reversal. Let's get that like button to 300, guys. I'm just going to go around the table to stretch my legs and we'll continue through the comment section right away, okay? Mac. That like button really struggling to get to 300, guys. Man, I can't have Crypto Lifer getting 600-700 likes, over 1,000 views. I'm gonna start doing moving average stuff, guys. If I don't get that like button getting up, I'm gonna start putting some moving averages on the 1 minute time frame, and that's what we're gonna do every single day. Moving average and small little bull flags and bullish pennants. That's what we're going to do if the like button doesn't go, okay? We're going to start talking about pennants and we're going to get 3 moving averages on the 1 minute time frame. And that's what we're going to do every single day. Views might go up and likes might go up. We don't do that. We don't want to do that. We don't like it. We don't do it. But if, you know, hey, it doesn't really matter. I'm not here for the likes, guys. I'm here for, you know, good education. Mark Dutch, my man, much love. Well, no. Savage. I like Crypto Lifer. Come on, no hate on him. He's a great guy. I did a collaboration with him a couple of years ago, and I love him to bits. Just same as Jason Casper, man. But they're, you know, they're good entertainers, I have to say. I'm not the greatest entertainer on streams. Your best like the stream, like amazing guy has been bringing loads learning for you all. Much love, my man. Tips guy here. Much love to you, man. We like you, Andy, Krypton boy. Okay, I like you too. Thank you very much, guys. Long or short, Andy? Market will die. Bro, BTC, any long trade? No, long trades, they're mainly on the higher time frame, okay? This is what we've been looking for. There was a long trade mentioned yesterday. We did get a bounce of a couple of $1,000s. It was a technical trade. Local double bottom would be only the option. If we below 101.2k, I'm not interested. If you double bottom, there's a good chance we could. If we do reclaim again here, you can enter for a bounce here. Shorts have been a little bit more interesting throughout today, and we've explained a little bit why looking for longs at this current point is dangerous. The movement to the upside looks corrective. The movements down look motive. We could be building a multiple 1-2. On the lower time frame today, we have had the movement to the downside. The movement to the upside, also from yesterday, very, very corrective, overlappy. This was labeled better as a double zigzag. Imagine trying to count an impulsive move here. You know, when you technically look at the waves, you got this, and then you have, I don't know what happened here. You got this, right? When you spread this out and you analyze how the market moved, you have a double zigzag. Zigzag W, zigzag down X, sharp zigzag up, sharp double zigzag. The movement that we had down today was clearly a 5-wave move. The bounce most commonly gets to the 4th wave. Not always, guys, but it is common. The 4th wave always provides you a setup for a swing failure pattern to get into a short trade. That you want to collect some profits, don't get me wrong, but you want to leave some open for 99k. Why? Because you have moved down in a potential 1-2, 1-2, and maybe the 3rd wave is getting developed. So it's in your best interest to hold some of those lower high, short trade setups. This was the one that we mentioned the other day. You hold a bit of that long to 99k because we do have a good chance based on the higher time frames, right? We zoom in for entries. We understand that we can leave some open, right? Based on the projections that we have on the higher time frame, which is in this case, what has priority is the contracting diagonal. And then you zoom in on the lower time frames to understand, is it in my best interest to look for longs here? I mean, we talked about one yesterday, but because it was a technical level where we had confluence, we had a daily level, we had inefficiency here. If you don't want to lose this low, if you can lose it and reclaim it, and it would give you an entry, which is what it did. You came down and you came back up. It gives you an entry on the recovery. Stop loss at the low. No, look no further. You need to always have a stop loss, right? You always need to have an invalidation point. I'm so against these people that trade on, you know, put massive amount of limit levels, right? This is not the way, guys. It is not the way long term, I can tell you. I've been there. I've done it. I've failed miserably. So it's not, literally, it's not the way. You will find out, right? Find out. You've probably found out a few times already in your trading career. So it's definitely not the way. So yeah, we try and provide, you know, this is not going to be easy. This is a higher time frame zone, guys. And I think I would treat this as a chilled zone, guys. Be chilled. If we need to find support, it could take many hours, even a couple of days, to reclaim this zone and even trade beneath the point of control or this higher low. You know, it could, you know, because it's higher time frame, on the higher time frame, you trade for hours at certain lows. Hours, guys, even a couple of days. You could be hours, even a couple of days down here after getting a brutal move down. So I wouldn't be in a rush. This is our swing trading zone that, we are looking to get to the fourth wave. That would be our main target here on the higher time frame, but it's a higher time frame analysis. It's a swing trade. If you're looking at the 5-minute time frame down here, you can go a little bit crazy because I think it could get chopped around. There will be a moment where the price decides to get up, dead cat bounce, maybe a double bottom. It will slow down very lightly. I'm not expecting an instant recovery, which it could. I mean, anybody that wants to get in on one of the reclaims of point of control or the 22nd of June higher low, you can attempt it responsibly. But there will be time to see signs of strength. If you get the big leg down, you chop around, there will be the first recovery pump. Hopefully we do get some kind of a easy enough pullback to recognize, because we're looking for a third wave up. We're looking for a big recovery to happen, right? We want to be in the third wave. Third wave is the one that you want to be in. The problem is that we need the map, the price to show us when is that third wave potentially going to start getting developed. And I mean, it's basically on the short trades from today. Maybe this is a 1-2, 1-2. You want to be in that short. You want to be in the short. If this is an ABC and you're forming this fourth wave, if you're not in the short from the tippy pico, right? The pico top, you want to try and detect your wave 1s and 2s. Get in the second wave, 1 and 2. Get in the second wave. And literally, if you did not catch the highs from a few days ago here at 107k for that fourth wave potential, you literally need to go to the 5-minute and start going through the meat and potatoes, right? You need to have experience, because if you did not catch the highs here of the first wave 1 and 2, and you did not get into this wave 2, and you did not get into this wave 2, you need to look for the lower time frame wave 1 and 2 before you form the third wave down, right? And that's literally, that's you're looking for to follow that momentum. I mean, this is why it doesn't really matter. There's always opportunities at the end of the day. And if we do not catch the low, if this pattern comes into fruition, if you did not catch the exact low, there will be moments, I will be live streaming, we will be trying to detect the change of bullish structure to try and speculate on before the wave 3 happens, okay? I'll be around, guys. I ain't going nowhere. So as we're talking about this zone as it's what we're waiting for. For the moment it is. We don't have any signals of a reversal. We just tapped the lows here right now at the last few minutes. Very risky double bottom. It is a risky double bottom. Not my preferred. This one was better yesterday. An internal double bottom with the daily was better. This one is a bit high risk. It's one of those double bottoms that I think is going to fail. And I have my reasons to believe that. And the main reason is corrective structure counts better here. 1-2, 1-2 counts better here. So, the risks of a wave 3 here, they are there. There are risks for a wave 3 here to get developed, which automatically converts this double bottom into not a very good double bottom, not a high probability double bottom. Could it double bottom and get a bounce here? I mean, obviously it can. Eventually it can, right? It's a liquidity game at the end of the day. It's just not a high probability one. And you need to be selective on your trades. And, I don't like this one too much. Let's go through comment section. Say hello to the absolute legends. And, we'll wrap it up, okay? BTCC link right over there from Staffer One, the legend. Guys, exchanges that are absolutely great, that just require an email and a password. Bluffin, you can trade gold also in Bluffin using stablecoins, USDT or USDC. 20% cashback, right, on your initial deposit. This increases your capital for trading. Take advantage. BTCC up to $10,000 in rewards. The more volume you move, you're suddenly going to get airdrops to your account. 10,000 in rewards. You can trade stock market here as well, guys. S&P 500 apart from Bitcoin and hundreds of altcoins. Claim your bonuses down below. For Bluffin, 20% cashback, BTCC, with the links down below. Another way to support channel at no cost for you, though. You only get bonuses. No, Andy, keep it on Elliott Wave only. All right, about the moving averages. Is Jim Cramer shorting the crypto? No, he's probably longing, right? Jim Cramer is probably bullish. That's why we're dropping. Andy got to run. Great stream. Many thanks. Much love to you, Mike. Much love to you. Thanks for joining. Andy, what is going on with Ethereum? It has a mixed corrective waves on the 1 hour time frame. We are going to leave Ethereum for tomorrow. We need to pop out Ethereum. Will you be at Pamporovo this winter at some point? Maybe yes. I might be going skiing there. Maybe I will go skiing to Pamporovo, my man. Much love. Let me know. Hook me up on Telegram. Always nice to meet people. Staffer One, everybody, thank you very much for joining, smashing up the like button. It's been an awesome stream. Thank you for joining. Lots of people, bit of education, a bit of what we're waiting for. This is a risky double bottom. You always get reactions at liquidity grabs. We know that. Treat it responsibly. I'm not interested in this long, guys. I am seriously looking for more downside. Much love. Stay safe with your trading. Create plans. You got the Legends Pro community for more updates every single day. Devil talked about this double 1-2 potential at the previous day value area high. You got lots of education there, guys, just to get in here. It's super simple. Middle link here, join Legends Trading Community, okay, if you're interested. Thank you for smashing the like. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Stay safe, trade safe. I'll see you tomorrow on a video update and also a live stream. Thank you. Have a great day. All the best. See you later.